against something like a Wisp. So I'm curious if future teams will consider going back to him, but I know a lot of people are
Yeah, I
kind
don't know.
of writing him off as a dead hero is, I think, a bit
I
too
mean,
far.
5 seconds
my
remaining.
position is not that the hero is completely terrible, but I do think like a substantial part of the hero was that
Reserve time.
people were like, oh, this ulti is like a bit like a black hole. You can catch the whole team, but also you just use it to pick people off, individual pickoffs, and it can't do that anymore. Like the ulti does nothing if you find someone on their own, and I mean
Yeah.
it does some. It's like a banish. You know, it holds them there for a few seconds, and I think that that's enough at least for like something you're getting at is right that Dota players and especially like at large the overall community often overreacts, and it might be that a few small buffs
10
to Ivan,
seconds
a few
remaining.
patches time, suddenly everyone plays it again even though like it was viable.
5
But
seconds remaining.
I don't know. I'm a bit concerned that yeah, you're right. You catch
Reserve
Wisp and
time.
with Tiny probably kills Wisp, but that's about you're not seeing the versatility of the Wyvern ulti that you would have seen before.
Back.
Definitely not. And what you are seeing, though, coming back to this draft, is Fantastic Five going straight back for the Lone Druid. This time they've got the Vengeful Spirits, which is like another pushing element. But
Yeah.
I do feel like it was a big issue for the Lone Druid last game that he just either the game was not the
10
game that a Lone
seconds
Druid
remaining.
thrives in. It was just like not a bear's world, and no matter how much farm he
5
had,
seconds remaining.
he couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. We'll see. A persistent
Reserve
Sadoy,
time.
though, wants to give it another crack, and he'll get lined up with it once more. Final bans to be coming out here. Fantastic Five will remove the Viper here, something that
Navi's
their
turn
own
to
team
bat.
maybe could have benefited from, but with the commitment Ori and the Queen of Pain for their mid lane, they don't want her to have too much trouble. And, well, other options here for Na'Vi. If it was the old Dendi days, but
10
I think even
seconds
Dendi... And you think like a Puck would have been like a nice throwback, something that's kind of seeing more play now and again and could offer a bit of lockdown. The silence could work beautifully against something like a Queen of Pain. I don't know if it's something Shadow plays. I don't know if he's going to be the tiny player. Any other, reach outs here for Scant that, might help against this Queen of Pain? If that's the matchup.
I can say that Jira plays Tiny. I'm pretty sure of that. It's one of his main heroes. So I
Okay.
expect Shadow to play the last hero.
10
And
seconds
whether or
remaining.
not it's against the Queen of Pain, I'm not too sure. I think they could run the Tiny
5
mid or
seconds
in the safe lane. But if it is against the Queen of Pain, there's still the Lina, which is a fairly standard pickup to run against the Queen of Pain in the mid lane. Yeah, I don't know. Ancient Apparition, a really nice pick actually for Fantastic Five right now because there's a Dazzle and a Wisp, and those are
Yes.
kind of the sustain heroes, and that's an important part of Navi's early game, I think, to have that sustain. So if A gets to level 6 reasonably early, hits some nice Ice Blast, also a good combination with Queen of Pain for bursting someone down, and looks like it will be the win range actually for Shadow, which is also a decent matchup 1v1 against Queen of Pain if that's the way they want to lane it.
Yeah, good matchup one-on-one. Might always have a decent target going against Lone Druid for shackle shots, so it forces Sadoy to kind of sweat a bit in the micro department when at least kind of getting chased down from a Wind Ranger. He will benefit, of course, more from the AA too with the Chilling Touch, and their level 1 is going to be pretty damn scary here, so... Fantastic Five, will we again see the 5-man smoke movement that they love to reach for now and again? We'll see if this time Na'Vi may be prepared for it as we get ready to get underway for game number 4 of this grand final. Just to kind of get everyone up to speed here, Na'Vi have battled their way
10
from this
seconds
huge round of 16 bracket. They led in
5 seconds
going
remaining.
against Team Prize. I casted this game. Prize didn't really match up too well against them. They got 2-0 shut out, and then they moved on to face Arcade 2-0 against them. Then Vega Squadron, the matchup that you did with Gods, where they took down Vega 2-1 to get here. Fantastic Five, another team, but it was Cyclops who did most of the run for them. They led in going against Aid Finem, and then they took down Pro Dota Gaming. And then the semifinals matched up against No Logic Gaming. Took them out 2-0 to get them here. For anyone
Must
who's
be
just gonna
said
come
that it must be said that maybe we can invent some fan fiction, but yesterday when Fantastic Five knocked out No Logic Gaming, they were missing Milan, who's their captain. And today they're against Navi in the grand finals, who's missing Dendi, and it's like a Fantastic Five, like do they have some secret connections that, just like deal with one of the players before
Yeah.
each match?
Yeah, it's like Fantastic Five. It's like the DC. It's the evil group. They're terrible of Fantastic Four, and they have the capability to totally DDoS someone out of life, apparently, anytime they get matched up. So we'll see if the advantage of removing Dendi is going to be enough for them to at least crawl back in this series.
Yeah, it hasn't been so far. I mean, it looked good for them at the start in that first game, but second game, very one-sided traffic, very quick win for Na'Vi. The third game, not as quick, but it felt like after the early game, Na'Vi were always going to win. And this game could go similarly if the early game goes really well for Na'Vi, because again, I feel like you don't really want to run this lone druid in a lineup and then just like see what happens. But have you noticed what Fantastic Five are doing with their lanes? They're actually running a core Vengeful Spirit as the 3 position and running a bit of an aggressive tri-lane by the looks of things, which is pretty clever considering the fact that Earthshaker is not going to do well 1v1 against Lone Druid in the offlane.
Yeah, this is a flip of the script here for Fantastic Five. It looks like, again, they're going to be coming up short and trying to get any sort of first blood catch, but this could get Na'Vi a bit miffed in how the laning setup will be here, with Dazzle already hanging around the bottom. This Wind Ranger is kind of relaying the info out. We'll see if any adjustments are going to be made from the side of Na'Vi, or if they're going to kind of sit tight with having Axmo kind of work with this Lone Druid matchup. Right now getting blocked out.
They don't
from
have
the
a whole
bear.
lot of... Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of options, to be honest. It's like, I don't know what Na'Vi do, because Wisp tri-lanes are like quite notoriously bad. I think a lane with a Wisp in 3v3, usually the Wisp lane is weaker. It's a pretty strong lane, there's an AA there. So I don't know, like, to deal with either of the lanes, to deal with the 1v1 lane, I expect Fantastic Five to go ahead, and that bot lane, which looks like 3v2 for now, I expect them to take the lead as well. So it's going to be a lot on Ditchera's Tiny and it's Nico's Wisp actually for Na'Vi to get a foothold in the early game.
Trying already to assert some dominance in lane, so Nico will try to keep EZZ back, but he's pretty frail under this Queen of Pain's right click, so got to be careful about that one. They turn back in for a bit of stun damage. So Nico, who of course got that early bottle, picking up the benefit of that early bounty rune. I wanted to see if maybe he had some pull options nearby. He'll obviously be making some stacks. It looks like he already has his eyes on this first camp right here. No troll camp. It does have a baby satyr over here, but the pull options to mid lane are pretty damn limited, and probably something he's not going to reach for nonetheless. So pretty cookie cutter. Wisp Tiny play in the mid lane, but we'll see how their adjustments are going to be in this bottom aggro setup coming out from the Fantastic Five. Is it just more for them to farm and just kind of make sure they bully back, or are they looking for fights? I guess this may answer my question, Scant. They're going to go right for...
Oh, there's the Grave.
Yeah, the Grave will keep them alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like part of it is that they wanted to set up the nice 1v1 safe lane. Part of it is that they knew that because of the Wisp, they'd get a favorable lane here too. But they're going to threaten kills all the time, and Grave's going to be the only thing that's keeping them from making those kills.
And when Grave is down, Shadow has to be extra cautious. Now they look to go on Artstyle himself. Follow-up is the stun, and just bang, 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 these right clicks. It is going to be AA who picks up the first blood here. This laning setup from Fantastic Five already putting in a little bit of early work for him.
That's the Artstyle we know and love, and already is half the net worth of the next poorest person in the game.
Ooh, nice catch on Soniko there. He does get the bounty rune, but obviously will pay his life for it.
The one thing that's impressive for Na'Vi so far is that the Earthshaker Axmo's actually done reasonably well. He's pretty close to the Lone Druid CS. Obviously, once the Lone Druid hits level 5, it becomes much more difficult. But Axmo running the Quelling Blade, Star Shield, Star Earthshaker, and I've seen him actually showing some aggression, running into the wave, attacking the Lone Druid, like not just giving up the lane for free. I think that's quite important. Get as much value early on while he can, because there's going to come a time in this lane where it's very difficult for him to be here.
Scary little trade there in the mid lane. Yoldo is only level 1 on his Bane, so didn't have a extra bit of base damage to follow up with the benefit of any sort of brain sap, fortunately for him. But he'll take his business back to the top lane, and they'll look to readjust here. They've already kind of set the tempo for this bottom lane. Vengeful Spirit's second in CS, the top belonging to Lone Druid in this top lane matchup. Now, Earthshaker is able to kind of find his way. He's, level 4 at 3 minutes in, and he has 13 CS, so it's going great for him. But Lone Druid is just getting, so much more from the lane. And now with Yol rotating back in, we'll be caught up with the stun. BZZ Blinks right into a toss-up. Is going to be forced to eat up the Fairy Fire here. Barely kept it alive. Yol dishes out the sleep. Will keep Ditya back, and BZZ will be safe. But now going to be on his last bottle charge.
And again, this is the one place Navi's doing well. It's interesting actually that was an aggressive play by Fantastic Five. They TP it in the Bane when the Tiny and the Whisper passed the tier 1, thinking they might actually be able to punish Navi. But you know, you ban the Whisper every game, and then when the one time you let it through, you're not actually used to the power of the hero because it's been so long since the last time you faced it. It's sort of what it feels like to me. Because that Wisp, just like the sustain, so important. It's difficult to kill a Tiny while the Wisp's around.
Yeah. And it's remembering to try to focus him down when necessary in a lot of these, what could be very, very hectic fights. Shadow returns back to the bottom lane setup right now. Him and Artstyle just kind of making do, but I'm sure not satisfied with where they've been kind of nerfed. Win Ranger at 6-2 CS right now. He's really trying to recover as much as possible. So, is it steady as she comes right now? BZZ, who's making the best as she can with the one crippled lane here for Fantastic Five. Are they just satisfied with kind of getting what action they can in the bottom lane for now? Is eventually this Queen of Pain going to have to step up in mid game and they can continue their dominance? But I mean, no moment to answer a question yet, as Artstyle will be forced to grave himself and heal, but it looks like he will be dropped. Axmo makes his appearance in the bottom lane. A Fissure helps get them down. The Bane. Navi get their first kill on the board. Axmo still persistent on this one. Has one more second for a Fissure. Will commit it, but they're not going to be able to get the grab on Eventual Spirit. So Fantastic Five still well in the head. Now 3-1.
Remember, this is what happened last game though as well. Axmo just like it's reached the point in the lane where you can't really be 1v1ing the Lone Druid, so go for that rotation. I think that Fantastic Five could have even seen it coming, that he's going to be leaving the lane. And yeah, Quap is really far behind right now, but so is Wind Ranger. And I think that Quap does more with just levels, no farm, than Wind Ranger does. She gets the Sonic Wave online, she gets level 4 Scream, she can be part of a lot of important ganks. The Wind Ranger actually is very, very item dependent.
And we'll see as Yol dances around this mid lane a bit. Still no level 6 for the Queen of Pain, but just in case something like this happens, he wants to be there at a moment's notice. Oh, the blink is going to be there, and BZZ will be fine. They try to turn their attention a bit onto Yol, but he's going to step off, and Sonico will be able to go on for an illusion rune if necessary. Brief sleep. Here comes Axmo. Fissure walk in, enchant totem, and the right click will help grab that one. Take down onto Yol here, and well, it looks like Navi will be able to etch himself another grab. Flawless execution on that front bottom lane. Oh! Shadow's going to be able to sweep in. A necessary kill, but it will cost him his own life, and that will secure a double kill now for the mighty Vengeful Spirit here in the bottom lane. Now 1,700 gold. What do you do with all this money that you've been kind of handed this big advantage?
Well, usually Vengeance just rush Helm of Dom, but looks like, yeah, okay, trades and an extra glove. Okay, she sells the glove. Yeah, it's almost always trades Helm of Dom. I was like, is this a Midas because you're so farmed? It's probably not. She's gonna finish the Ring of Aquila and then go for the Helm of Dom, probably the BKB. It's fairly standard. We don't see that much variation in the core Venge build.
Yeah, the essentials. She'll get the essentials for now and just be able to kind of have that extra bit of muscle power now. Venge is one of those heroes, just a deceptive amount of damage. You can't just kind of casually look at her as the support we've known for quite a while. This little lady can definitely pack some heat, and Shadow will have to play with cautious and always have that wind run at the ready, but inching so much closer to her own level 6 here. Can't really do much with Bane nearby. How's the stacking game looking over here for Navi? They still have a couple of stacks over here on the side for precious little Ditya, who hasn't really been caught out or killed, but hasn't really gotten any kills himself. Only has power treads for now. I mean, nowadays, do we still feel like the Blink Dagger... Oh, hold on a second. Bottom lane. Sleep on the Shadow. They got the missile. They got the right click. No, they got the wind run. Gonna keep him alive, plus Artstyle's there. No kill's gonna happen. Ditya, though, is about to intercept possibly, and they could get AA combo. And they are gonna get the last hit from Sonico. But I was gonna ask, Ditya, is it still a Blink Dagger Tiny kind of a game? Some Tinies don't feel it's necessary when you have the mobility of Wisp, but do you think it's just kind of a go-to tool here for Ditya and something he needs to consider building into soon? Or drums first?
I think it probably I mean, he might get the drum first, but I think he will
Radiant's
go
top
blink.
tower
I
has
I don't
fallen.
think this is a skip blink game because sure Earthshake is doing all right, but Windrange is doing really badly, and so Tiny's gonna be. They're gonna depend a lot on the Tiny for initiating in all of the early fights in the mid game, and that's the main initiating tool. So for that reason, I think it's probably actually just blink even before drum. But you could make the case for the drum before the blink because the stats are already nice. You've got the wisp with the drum and the wisp. It's enough move speed to get onto people.
Yol continues to wait here on the bottom lane, hoping that someone inches forward and they can get another setup, but Na'Vi have learned their lesson, and this Wind Ranger is now jungle farming her way towards her level 6, which she does pick up right now. It looks like AA is onto this one, and they're going to be looking to creep in over right now. This is Na'Vi on recovery mode from their laning stage, but even then it's like, yeah, we see what you're doing right here, and we're going to be taking this away from you as well. Sad little Na'Vi squad here as they wait. Well, reinforcements are coming, though. So Nico, not level 6 yet on his Wisp, so they don't have any sort of relocate setup, but they are trying to at least bully the Fantastic Five back from this bottom lane, because it's very apparent that the Wind Ranger is just calling out for help.
Yeah, this is not the game that a Wind Ranger wants to have. You want to have a good start. You want to have pick-off potential in the mid game, and that's how you get your farm. It's not really a flash farmer, a hero that like just dips into the jungle and spams nukes or something like that. She's starting to catch up, so is the Queen of Pain, but I do think the Queen of Pain is going to be less bothered by the quest starts, and I was actually wondering if we'd see the Sonic Wave soon.
Dire's bottom tower is
Relocate to
under
bottom
That's the
lane.
relocate.
Yeah, they'll get awarded with a quick AA support kill, the first relocate of the game.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And they'll follow with some minor damage here onto the bottom tier 1. Na'Vi putting it right to work at this point. Even though it seemed like a huge lane disadvantage, they know the objective at hand. They're going to get done what they can. BZZ, though, has a Sonic Wave here. Gets it off. Swap is going to get a misplace there for Ditya Ra, but it doesn't matter. They clean up him and the Dazzle, and they want more. Hustling on forward. Actimo is going to slow them down with a fissure. Meanwhile, Shadow gets a nice shackle shot onto BZZ. But Sadoy still on the chase here. Gets a nice little root. Now he's going for the TP out, and it's not going to happen. He gets the roar off, cancels the TP. Not the roar, well, yeah, roar. Savage roar. We'll cancel out the TP. Shadow also going to be able to make it away. Sleep was there, but I guess Yol just didn't have the proper vision for the target.
And this is more of a lone dread game. This is more of what Fantastic Five wanted in the previous game, and because they've combined it with the Vengeful Spirits, I think working out. And sure, one of their cores did get nerfed early on, the Queen of Pain, but like I said, she's more level dependent than item dependent, and they're starting to begin their snowball. You look at the graphs, the XP and gold graph. It's a sign of the game going exactly how they want it to go, and 5 to 10 minutes from now, we could. I mean. One of the games in the series, the second game, Na'Vi won in pretty much 20 minutes. And this is what Fantastic Five are trying to go for in this game. And Na'Vi need something to stem the bleeding. And I thought Ditchera was really close to his blink, but actually after that death, he went back for an Ogre Club and a Magic Wand. I don't know if he had the one before, but he bought the Ogre Club now. So I guess straight into Ags.
Yeah, or BKB, but I don't think that's going to help him a whole lot in this particular game. But yeah, just a reliable component towards the eggs. Kind of missed
and
their
this is what it's what Fantastic Five did against Navi's Deathball. We saw the OD go for Midas and the Jara go for Helmet Dom. It's kind of like go straight into Ags. It's a farming build, and like just sort of hope that you deal with the Deathball. And if you do, then you'll have the farm, and then once you turn the corner, you're ahead. But the downside is that, it doesn't help you directly in terms of slowing down the enemy push. It doesn't help you really to fight them. Like, sure, it's some HP, but not really that significant to the greater scheme of things in terms of what Fantastic Five are trying to do to you.
Yeah, which I don't see a hitch in their plan anytime soon. BZZ will pick up business here at the top lane as Sodoy has been taking up most of the jungle farm. He's got that Maelstrom Pact on his bear right now, and continues to bulk up the damage front. Helm of the Dominator even complete now on their Vengeful Spirit. I don't think she's used it yet, but look at that. Suddenly has a Alpha Wolf now, so huge right-click potential coming out for them. They could gather and make a push happen sooner than later in this kind of a game. And what is this? Okay, well, this ancient apparition goes early Ogre Club. Values his Axe component first, gets the extra life for himself, but not going to be the mighty Midas that we saw from the last game on art style.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think, you know, you're building into the Axe, but the Midas just sends the wrong signal. I mean, this is, honestly, that's what, like, there's a chance that they could be pushing racks in 10 minutes time, and there's not enough time for Midas to return as an investment if that's gonna, you know, if that's in the cards.
Roche time here for Fantastic Five. They have a wonderful Roche lineup to do it. And Na'Vi are smoked and on the move, but they might be just too late for it if they can't get in there fast enough. It's going to be down, but they've already committed in. The jump in, grab, Vengeful Spirit will be able to pick it up. They do burst down the Lone Druid. Sonic Wave on the return. Ditya moving into the pit, going man mode here for the Vengeful Spirit. Gets the toss off and the kill. That's going to be the Aegis down. And Na'Vi will have to pull on out of there after the relocate. Shadow is last on the scene here. Looks like he'll go for a TP and make it out and away, so Nico's back. They'll get that kill, it looks like here. Is that good enough for Na'Vi being able to kind of take that Aegis quickly away, or was it just kind of the point of no return, right when they were able to commit into the pit?
I don't think Na'Vi could have hoped for anything better, to be honest. Maybe if they had a blink on ears, but it's the best they could have hoped for, but it's still probably not good enough. I guess, look, the point is, if the Aegis was still up, if the bear doesn't die, that converts into like a tier 1 tower mid, maybe the tier 2 as well. So it's like relative to the situation, obviously, and it's quite a big win for them, but they're still in that same situation.
We'll see what they can make out of this time that they've been granted right now without Fantastic Five being able to comfortably move forward and eliminate a couple of tier 1s. They have to kind of play back into the farm game, and this allows Na'Vi some time to maybe make some new setups here. Relocate will be back in about 10 seconds time. Mid lane, they found a jump commitment here onto the Bane, and they will be awarded with a quick support takedown. Na'Vi gonna put this new Blink Dagger to use on Ditya.
Yeah, it's interesting how he changed his mind. I mean, the Ogre Club and then back into the Blink. Maybe recognizing the urgency of it, or that, you know, the Earthshaker's not going to have Blink yet, the Wind Range is far behind, and you need a plan to fight people this early. Actually, Shadows actually rushed the Blink as well on the Wind Ranger, not going straight for the Ag, so it's very clear Na'Vi have recognized they have to be able to contest these fights right now.
Well, fights coming mid lane, whether they like it or not. Fantastic Five looking to do some work on this mid tier 1. Bear out.
Shadow might be in trouble. That's a DD quap.
Oh, Shadow. Relocate, though, is going to be the response. They quickly blink out and away, but Ditya is quick on the chase. Blinks in, gets the quick takedown of Yol, and they'll have to readjust. Fantastic Five will engage that much harder now on this mid tier 1, knowing that Ditya is going to be a bit out of position. Shackle Shot will not latch for this bear. Tower will go down. Arstyle's committed in with Axmo, who blinks, gets the echo. They do get the return, but as the retreat out, Na'Vi look to pursuit, and they will get the takedown of AA right there. And Ditya with a killing spree. They lose their tier 1, but they get a good return. It's a bit sloppy from almost both sides on this one, but I suppose the Avenge Fate Town is good for Na'Vi.
I think it's especially sloppy for Fantastic Five, especially the pre-attempt where they went for the Wind Ranger before that fight happened, because BZZ was actually invis. He had an invis rune, so he could have just waited for the AA ulti and then burst down the Wind Ranger, but he went first, then the AA ulti missed, the relocate came in, they had to go back. Then they had to go and try and fight, and yeah, doesn't work out as well after that, because it's kind of just been shown where the heroes are. The Bane had been burst down at the bot rune, they were one hero behind. So Fantastic Five, I mean, you can't get sloppy when this is the kind of draft you're going for, when you're trying to snowball. It's very risky giving that breathing room.
Yeah, and suddenly you're looking at Ditya with near Agnums complete, and they're about to go back on the move as Earthshaker goes down. They relocate in this mid lane, and Yol has been on the bad end of this tiny combo throughout the whole game. So another back and forth trade. I
think Yol's competing with Artstyle directly in the series for most deaths. Not really that surprising. I think they're both the 5 players. Usually see those players dying the most. It's a sign of a really good one when they don't. That's something you got to give a lot of credit to a guy like PPD for playing that like 5 role, but not actually dying that often. I do think one really good thing for Fantastic Five is that they keep killing the Earthshaker. It's definitely the most important hero for them to kill because as soon as he hits Blink Dagger, that's kind of like the roadblock. That's now maybe you can't just go for these objectives. The whole world could turn on its head.
Yeah, real heartbreaking game for poor Earthshaker right here. He's been close time and time again for going for this blink, but caught out once more. And Fantastic Five just seem to recognize this as an opportunity to kind of punish Na'Vi when they don't have these items online yet. They hustle their way back towards top lane, but Na'Vi are already going to be out the other way. This has been Shadow's prime farming time since being severely crippled in the laning stage. He's gotten that Blink Dagger, and he's already building up towards the Agnums next. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of threat nearby, so Fantastic Five really need to kind of make sure they do kind of meet that quota and continue to push because Na'Vi could creep on them in the late game with a huge hitting Tiny in this Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, I was gonna say it's a struggle for Wind Ranger to keep up the farm with the start she had, but actually she's been finding a lot of space recently. And the one time she got discovered, she didn't die. The mid lane though, they've caught Tiny with the Fiend's Grip and
nope.
Oh, relocate out. That's what Sneako's there for.
Yes, wonderfully done. Now you see me, now you don't. Right back to base here. I foresee they are going to re-engage, but Tiny is going to take his business towards the tower. Long tether out into art style, and he's going to be just fine. Commitment in from BZZ. Will he follow it up with any sort of serious grab? No Sonic Wave yet. Needed the extra couple of seconds. It's going to be online now. Will Fantastic Five continue to stay and fight? They're thinking about it here. Inching forward, Yol hoping to maybe get a sleep setup, but no sleep to be found.
I think Na'Vi are just thinking about their Earthshaker dagger because Tiny could have blinked in and burst someone maybe. But nervous to commit. Well, actually that's Sneako getting forward. He's dead for sure.
Missile. Swap back now. They could go for Dazzle. Is able to get the Grave off. It might be too late for any sort of TP. He doesn't even have one. He's dead for sure. And, well, that makes 2 kills now for Fantastic Five. They'll move on and go for this tier 2. I think Na'Vi have accepted that, and they continue their push elsewhere. Shadow in this bottom lane, and quickly Dit Yara with his Tiny going to head up towards his top lane while he can.
And Stoy actually did just go straight for the Mjolnir this time. And again, I think that's kind of a statement of intent. You don't want to save up for the Radiance because it's like too slow a progression. You want to keep rolling with the momentum right now.
A wise call, in my opinion, as well. Oh, relocate
here comes the dagger.
To the Yol position by Yol. Man, he's not happy about that. Oh, BZZ commitment in and quickly has to step back. He does get the Orchid off for Sonico, but they end up just moving in, getting their hit and run, and stepping right on out from here. Shadow has been lingering around a bit. I don't know if it's going to warrant Vengeful Spirit maybe scouting with a wave here, but it's good for Shadow he did. Shadow's going to be able to blink away and be safe, and they'll kind of get back control of their lane. Na'Vi, though, proven to be a bit pesky here, and the more time they're able to give themselves, the more comfortable they're going to begin to feel. I'm just not sold yet that Fantastic Five are going to be able to get the job done in this game.
And Earthshaker's got dagger now, and it's like, honest, I've seen Na'Vi twice in the last week turn around a game where they were the ones being pressured by push strategy, and both times the like turning point of the game was a very big blink echo from Maximo's Earthshaker. So I think he's totally up to it, knows how to position himself to get those big echoes off when the push is coming. And I don't know if he's actually revealed it yet, but either way, it's, you know, Fantastic Five either don't know about the blink and push into it and get destroyed, or know about it and they're going to start having to be a lot more conservative in how they push.
And we'll see now Fantastic Five just kind of inch by inch move themselves out, but Na'Vi, who've already taken advantage of most of the map, they placed down a couple of pretty nice aggressive wards here. Great to have when you got this Wisp setup on your team. Makes no area really safe here for Fantastic Five, and that's the trouble thing, is that if you don't have really a safe lane to be in as a Vengeful Spirit, you don't really have many options to go to. I mean, by this point, she is respectively farmed enough that she can jungle farm, but she's not jungle farming as fast as like a Jug or an AM or a PL or someone who can just roll through and find all the farms. She's got to take down each creep one by one and slowly work through, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So you either got to commit in on making these pushes happen or make fights happen. Right now it seems to be the latter. They smoke up, they go in. They're going to see that Arsala has popped their smoke. He will be the target. He will be swapped back, and he will be continuing this chase on who will feed the most kills between him and Bane. Bane at a solid 0 and 6. Dazzle now pushing the lead in at 0 and 7.
Yeah, now we're gonna try and get the trade-off with the split push at top tower, but in the meantime, Bane's like, no, Dazzle,
okay,
you died,
we're tied again. Yeah, 0 and 7 apart. This is turning into be a race within itself. I'm almost getting more excited about that meta game. Oh,
the highest stats.
So Nico returns, glimmers, and he's gone.
I actually think it might be a mistake from Fantastic Five. Since you brought it up, it's got me thinking like Vengeful Spirit going for one of the more standard sort of farmy builds. I think since they were running it in the 3 position on their offlane player and they've got the Queen of Pain, the Lone Druid, maybe it should have been built more for utility. It's something that I think often decides games and people don't realize. But Dota's not just the game these days is decided by big fights. Big fights are decided by damage, but also by control. And right now, there's a lot more control on the side of Na'Vi, actually, in terms of disables and positioning. And, like, sure, the Venge still has the swap, but they don't really have, like, no one's got a 4-staff, no one's got a Glimmer Cape. I don't even know if any of them have, no one's got a Blink Dagger, like the Pop can blink. If Venge had gone for a 4-staff, or maybe even the Air Lens for the longer swap, I think it might have actually worked out better for them here, but not looking too bad anyway. Get the rush and smoke straight out.
Yeah, one of the advantages they do still hold pretty well is being able to get Roche and get it fast, which they do there and now. And as they look to hustle out Na'Vi, they're looking for stragglers. They can't get in range for the swap, so Nico glimmered up and then tethers away to the safe zone.
Hearthstone nearly got swapped actually. I was clicking on Ghost Stick and he clicked the spell and then got fogged. So it was pretty close.
Heartbreaking there for Fantastic Five, but for Na'Vi, they etch away to safety. They see Lone Druid go top, and they want to make a fight happen here, and it's Yol! Yol's down again. Bane just bringing in the extra bit of intel for the team. Doesn't need to hand over a whole lot of money.
And Artstar's got to be pretty chuffed.
Yeah, for sure.
One less death now.
Now he's got to push this lane by himself, for sure. We'll see. Maybe he'll just run across the other side. Be that moving ward. But on the other side, BKB nearly in order here for BZZ on his Queen of Pain. And it looks like little AA was able to pick up another piece of the puzzle for his Aghanim Scepter. Nice crucial tool to have, and with an AC coming on, it'll make their siege objectives a lot easier here for Sadoy and family. But the thing I'm nervous about is just continuing to sleep on this Ditya Ra Tiny and Shadow Wind Ranger. I mean, Aghanim's now done. Shadow's only going to be building into damage at this point. And Ditya Ra, Ag's Blink is good, but now he'll have his own AC where you kind of make up for the shortcomings of his armor, and they themselves will also be able to kind of siege buildings just as fast, if not faster at points than even the Fantastic Five will.
Well, Shadow's going to be gone on, and there's a BKB on Queen of Pain now, so she's not too worried, and I think Shadow, yeah, he's going to shatter.
Oh, and over here, they're going to catch out Soniko. He's glimmered up. He's still good. They have the dust, but Ditya Ra seems to be the better target. Oh my, what was that? They actually linked up at the last second? Am I crazy? They're back top lane. They're good.
Yep, that is a Soniko play right there. I mean, he was literally about to die himself, and not only did he save himself, he had like the presence of mind to save his teammate.
That tether was so brief, like they just it was like Back to the Future. They were just gone. That was crazy. Well, they'll keep alive there, but they do end up losing one, and Fantastic Five now quickly in the high ground. This team pushes towers fast. Glyph forced out here already from Na'Vi. They're going to look to respond, and I don't know if Fantastic Five are going to...
Fountain.
Yeah, stay...
Just wants to heal. They just want to heal up the Spirit Bear, not waste it, so that they can have like full Spirit Bear. But Earthshaker is going to respawn soon, and he hasn't used his ulti. It is a level 2 ulti now, and remember what I said about Zakucj.Dot's Earthshaker with the big ultis that always seems to turn around these games when Navi's being pushed.
They are going to get the tier 3 down, and jumping from Ditya will secure the Aegis kill on the BZZ. He comes back, swap out. AA Blast will miss onto him, but catches Soniko and Dazzle. They will get the finish on the Ditya, and Fantastic 5 are persistent to take this to a game 5. This bear goes on the prowl. Rax in jeopardy here. Going to get shackled up and slowed down. Then the fissure. Eventually they will.
A high ground ward actually spotting out the Earthshaker, which is why you can't get one of these big Echo Slams. That high ground ward doing so much work, and he actually got pinged out by the Bane. So, not giving him any like opportunities for big Echo.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
And now Fantastic 5 will be able to walk away with a big win for themselves. Both Rax mid lane will go down here. Na'Vi in a bit of trouble now. And this is huge earnings right now. Ooh, relocate right away. They saw the Quap blink in. And now BZZ has a blink to make it out. Swap back. And oh no, this is turning around to be maybe a disaster. No. Windranger gets the kill on Quap Snipes. Steps out before the Ice Blast. That was a bit hectic, but still worked out for Na'Vi somehow.
A little bit greedy by the Queen of Pain, turning around, wanting to like turn around and get a kill. Could have probably avoided the power shot.
Oh,
Invisible
goodness!
Earthshaker, that's
Echo on to 2. They get AA down. Y'all, he might want to die. Arstyle certainly wants to have that with him here. He's got a question to ask. We'll get the takedown. Y'all dropped. Na'Vi, just when they lose so much in the mid lane, they immediately turn the game right back around. It's not going to lead to too many objectives, it looks like, as a follow-up, but they're just going to be quick to response. Fantastic 5 never rest easy, even after a big push in the mid lane.
Yeah, and it's not the Echo Slam we were expecting, but it's still a pretty big Echo Slam after getting that Invis rune. And after Queen of Pain, kind of, you got to say offering herself as a free kill, which is a bit of a mistake that led up to that entire fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now comes Na'Vi. This is where they really want to kind of make up for what they're missing out on this map. And, well, they're not able to stay and kind of finish out the tier 2. They'll head back and kind of move forward with the farm and just take what little winnings they got in the meantime. And we'll just have to see. The closeout period here for Fantastic 5. Wait out possibly for the next Roche. Farm what you got. Take in those new items that you got from the huge Roche takedown. I mean, we have a Radiance now back for Sadoy. Steps back for that. Still has the Hyperstone to probably build eventually into his own personal AC. Midas has been complete because of the mid lane takedown here for little AA. Is it just on Na'Vi to kind of maybe start pulling out smokes themselves and not allow Fantastic 5 to kind of roll through them with the easy game plan of, let's say, take this tier 2 top, wait out, get Roche, and then just push the high ground?
Snipe.
Radiant's top tower is
nicely
under
done.
attack.
Fire gets out, so nice little move by Shadow. It's not really going to be a huge, big deal in the
Radiant's top
greater
tower
scheme of things.
has
And
fallen.
yeah, I mean,
Топ-лейн у Нави, кажется.
Hey guys, I'm back now. Sorry, Time Warner cable just straight up dropped on me. Can't really say anything else about it, but I'm gonna try to get the stream back and underway and see what we missed out of it. I mean,
Your Shan has fallen to the damage. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Медведь идет на развороте драться, дал фир.
Дарстеллы, ну на самом деле не знаю, меня удивляет, что люди до сих пор